my favorite things to do in wintertime is just plain get out there and enjoy it, whether it happens to be snowshoeing or cross-country skiing or downhill skiing, and really enjoy that. But I've got to tell you, George, one of the most interesting ski resorts in Michigan is up in the Copper Harbor area, and we're going to learn about that next.
Yes, we are. We're going up to Mount Bohemia to talk to Lonnie Gleeperman, the president of Mount Bohemia, about, like you say, a very unique skiing destination in Michigan. We obviously have a number of ski areas around the state, but this one is a little different. And so, Lonnie, for folks who have not been up there, and you're up in the western UP, tell us what makes Mount Bohemia different.
Well, Mount Bohemia is unique in that it caters basically to advanced and expert skiers and snowboarders, where most Michigan ski areas obviously cater towards the families of beginner and intermediate skiers.
Right.
We don't groom, which is very unusual throughout the entire United States and North America. We don't ever touch the snow. We leave it natural, which creates great powder days. And on top of that, we also don't have any beginner runs, and we only have one intermediate run. So it is very unique in that sense, and it is very different from Michigan. It's more close to a snowcat ski operation you'd find in British Columbia than a typical recreational ski resort, if I try and describe it.
Yeah, by snowcat, you mean, so it's kind of close to a place that either you'd get taken up by a snowcat or dropped off by a helicopter?
Yeah, it'd be similar to that, because what it is basically we use chairlifts to get you to the top. Out in British Columbia, they would use a helicopter or a snowcat to bring you to the top. But in a sense, we're more similar to them because they would never touch their snow.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They were buying all natural snow. They're selling adventure. What we're selling is adventure, whereas Crystal Mountain is a beautiful ski resort, and it's a phenomenal place for families. They're selling a great family experience.
Right.
We're selling adventure. So we would be, it's like comparing Ruth Chris Steakhouse and Applebee's. They're both restaurants, but they're very, very different restaurants.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so in our case, we're more similar to what one would find at one of those kind of places in a typical commercial resort.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So what percentage of people who ski do you think kind of fit your product? I mean, is that half the skiers or 10% of the skiers? How many?
Probably the upper 20%.
Okay.
So it's a niche. It's a niche product. And as you know, we're not close, so likely if we even had beginner trained, the beginners wouldn't have a reason to come this far to get beginner trained. So yeah, we are a niche product, and we are focused on the upper part of the market, but that market really is not served in the Midwest because the Midwest skiers, while they're phenomenal at teaching and having a great family experience, the sense of adventure is not a strong point of a lot of Midwest ski resorts. So our weak point is their strong point.
Right.
We're not great at, amenities and all those things. So our strong points are their weak points are our strong points. So we really differentiate ourselves. And like I say, we're not for everybody, but those that are good skiers or snowboarders looking for adventure.
Yep.
This is like a little British Columbia mountain in the Midwest.
Yep.
Well, what kind of vertical are we talking here, Lonnie? Because we're certainly not known for vertical. We're known for great ski resorts, as you mentioned, but not for a lot of height.
Yeah, we're 900 feet of vertical.
Wow.
So that would be, twice what's in the Lower Peninsula.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's got the vertical, but what's more important than just that vertical is that the sustained pitch of the mountain is about twice what is normal in the Midwest.
Yep.
And that would match up very similar to what you'd see the pitches at Aspen or at Vail. We ski, really every bit as steep as any of those places out there.
And you're right on. You're there in Lac La Belle, so you're right on the shoreline of Lake Superior, aren't you?
We're very close to lake.
Yeah.
We've got lake on three sides of us, which allows us to get a lot of snow. So any way the wind blows besides south, we get snow. Of course, this year was a little late coming, but we have gotten about 5 feet in the past 17 days, so that's been a real nice change. Now the conditions are, really phenomenal.
Yeah.
So like a snowcat operation, when we get snow, it is just a phenomenal experience, and it's been really great. The last 8 days have been just phenomenal people are having the best ski day of their life.
Now, basically, most of our hills in Michigan are kind of like sandy based, and in your case, up in Mount Bohemia, don't you have a lot of rocky outcroppings and so chutes and great places to jump and do all the crazy things that these young skiers like to do?
Yeah, that's a really good way for your viewers or listeners that haven't obviously been to us. Mount Bohemia is a prehistoric volcano.
Mm-hmm.
Midwest ski resorts are generally made out of sand or dirt. So that's why we're a lot steeper, because we're actually a true kind of mountain you'd find out in the West. It's a very big anomaly. Supposedly it's a prehistoric volcano, which is why we have all these rock outcroppings all over the place, which is the pro to that is it makes for great ski terrain.
Mm-hmm.
The negative is it was very expensive to build those ski runs.
Oh.
Because instead of just, coming down with the, timber company, clearing the trees and residing it, we were blasting like crazy.
Wow.
Because we literally had to blast. And that's unheard of in Michigan to have to blast at a ski resort to build ski runs. But we actually did a lot of dynamite because it is it's a real mountain. It's just in the Midwest. Not as big as Colorado, but it's like a section of a Colorado mountain.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So I assume that given your product and the niche that we talked about, that you must have a lot of repeat business from those enthusiasts who are looking for that experience.
Yeah, we have a lot of very loyal customers. I mean, obviously, we're a fraction of the size of what a Boyne or a Shush or a Shanty or Nubs Knob would do. We're a niche product. We're those guys are the big producers. We're a niche, small product. But yeah, our customers, we have, it's a unique product. The only difficult our customers have why they don't visit us more is, of course, it is a, 10-hour drive from Detroit.
Right.
I will say it's straight highway, 4 miles off the road. It's not very hard to get to us. It's just not very fast.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell us about, the skiing, of course, is really great, and it really is cool to have such a kind of an adventure course in Michigan. What's the accommodation experience like? Because that's also different.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we saw at Bohemia is that it's kind of like going to a Mount Everest base camp. If I had to create a vision of what it would look like,
Yep.
It's a bunch of yurts and some really simple cabins, and you're really at a base camp at the foot of the snowy mountain in the middle of nowhere. And for some people, that's the most phenomenal experience. Of course, for someone who wants a different kind of luxurious experience, it's not for them. But you're in these yurts. They're Mongolian huts. We got a hostel that sleeps 14 people, so you'd share a room with other people, which is a very social, fun experience, like the old ski days. And then if you want more of a private experience, we have your own Trailside Cabin, which is 4 bunk beds and a shower and bathroom and sink, and you ski right out your door.
I find that very appealing myself because it is a little more rustic, I guess, and it just kind of fits with the overall theme of the hill itself. Yeah,
what we're selling here is a sense of adventure from the style of lodging to the skiing experience. There's a backcountry bus. If you drop down into our backcountry, it's a half-mile wide. You're far from either chairlift, so you ski down to a bus, and a bus picks you up. So, those that are looking for an adventure on the weekend, this is like a little adventure. It's always different. Each day the snow is a little bit different. No one day is the same as the other.
Right.
When you groom the runs, they're almost always the same. It's always a different experience. Some days the front side of the mountain has more snow. Some days it's the north side. Some days it's the back side. So it's always a challenge or interesting to find out where the best snow is. The mountain is big enough, you cannot ski every run in the weekend. Well,
and I know that you also offer classes for people who are good skiers but maybe want to get to that next level, and that's a great opportunity too. So, well, hey, Lonnie, thank you so much. Lonnie Gleiberman, president of Mount Bohemia, for joining us today, and really recommend if you like to ski, this is a great opportunity. Go up to Mount Bohemia to find out more. All you have to do is go to mtbohemia.com. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's program of Travel Michigan. We'd like to thank Mark Blackwell for engineering the program. On behalf of George Zimmerman and myself, we'd like to invite you to join us again next week right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at michigan.org.